What if I told you that over 2,000 years ago, one man saw the entire future of humanity and wrote it all down? Not guesses, not theories, not predictions from some self-proclaimed prophet. An actual, detailed, documented account of exactly how this world is going to end. Wars that would shake entire nations, plagues sweeping across continents, a single world leader rising to power with a number attached to his name. 666. And that account is sitting in a book that billions of people own, but almost nobody truly understands. That book is called Revelation, and today we are going to open it together. I want to be honest with you before we start. The first time I truly sat down and studied Revelation, verse by verse, I had to put the book down and just sit there for a few minutes. Because what is in these pages is not what most people think it is. It is not just a scary prophecy book about doom and destruction. It is a personal message written across 2,000 years of history, directly to you, to me, to every human being alive on this earth right now. And by the time we finish this series, chapter by chapter, verse by verse, I promise you, the way you see God, the way you see the world, the way you live your everyday life, none of it will look the same. If you are brand new here, welcome. Hit that subscribe button right now and turn the notification bell on, because this is video 1 of our complete Revelation series, and every single episode builds on the last one. You do not want to jump in halfway through. Start here. Stay with us. But before we read one single verse, I need to give you 90 seconds of background. Because if you try to read Revelation without understanding the world it was written into, you will miss half of what it is saying. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you is going to make everything that follows hit 10 times harder. The year is 95 AD. The Roman emperor is a man named Domitian, and he is one of the most brutal, most terrifying rulers in Roman history. He has declared himself a god. He demands that every person in the empire worship him, bow down to his image, offer sacrifice in his name. And for Christians, people who believe that Jesus Christ alone is Lord, this demand is impossible. So they refuse. And they pay for that refusal with their lives. Christians are being arrested in the streets, dragged from their homes, thrown into arenas, and executed publicly. This is the reality on the ground when Revelation is written. Real people, real suffering, real fear. And they are asking the same question humans have asked in every dark generation since. God, where are you? Do you see this? Are you still in control? And it is into that question, into that darkness and that fear, that God sends the book of Revelation. Now, who is the man receiving this vision? John the Apostle, the last surviving disciple of Jesus Christ. This is not someone who read about Jesus in a book. He walked with him, ate with him, stood at the foot of the cross and watched him die, ran to the empty tomb on resurrection morning. Decades of personal, intimate history with Jesus. And now John is old. Most of his fellow disciples are already dead. Peter, crucified upside down. Paul, beheaded. James, killed by Herod. One by one, they have all been martyred. And John, the last one standing, has been arrested and exiled to a small rocky island called Patmos. No city, no community, no comfort. Just hard labor, wind, waves, and total isolation. The Romans sent him there to silence him, to make him disappear. But here is what every earthly power that has ever tried to silence God has never understood. You cannot exile a man from his God. And on that island, in that dark, lonely, forgotten place, heaven opens up. Now, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave him to show to his servants the things that must soon take place. Notice those first 4 words, the revelation of Jesus Christ, not just about him. This is his message, his vision, his words. He is not just a character in this book. He is the author. And verse 3, do not skip this. Blessed is the one who reads aloud the words of this prophecy, and blessed are those who hear it. Revelation is the only book in all 66 books of the Bible, all 1,189 chapters, that promises a specific blessing just for reading it. God literally said that if you engage with this book, you will be blessed. You are being blessed right now just by watching this video. Receive that. It is real. And stay with me, because at minute 6 I am going to show you something hiding in plain sight in chapter 1 that most people who have read this book their entire lives have completely missed. A single verse that unlocks the entire book of Revelation, and most teachers skip right past it. Verses 4 through 8. John greets the 7 churches and writes something that stops me every single time I read it. Grace to you and peace from him who is and who was and who is to come. 3 tenses, one God. Him who is means he is fully present right now, not distracted, not distant, not busy with something more important, fully aware of every detail of your life at this exact moment. Him who was means he was with you in every dark season of your past, every painful memory, every moment you were certain you were completely alone. He was there, even when you did not see him. Him who is to come means he is already present in your future, already working things out you cannot see yet, already arranging what comes next in your story. There is literally no moment in your life, past, present, or future, where he is absent. Let that sink in. Then verse 7. Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him. Every eye, not some, every single human being alive on that day will see him coming in full, undeniable, unmistakable glory. And the reaction of the entire earth? Every tribe will wail. That wailing is not just sadness. It is the wailing of sudden, inescapable recognition. The moment when every person who dismissed this, ignored this, laughed at this, suddenly realizes beyond all doubt that it was real. Every word was real. Every warning was real. Every invitation to believe was real. And they missed it. That question runs quietly through every chapter of this book. When that day comes, which side of that moment will you be on? That is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to wake you up. Now, verse 10. John says, I was in the Spirit on the Lord's day, and I heard behind me a loud voice like a trumpet. And he turns around, and what he sees, I want you to read this slowly, because every single word is intentional, and every image is a theological statement. Verse 13 through 16. Someone like a son of man, clothed in a long robe with a golden sash around his chest. The robe and golden sash are the clothing of the high priest, the one who stood between God and humanity. Jesus is your high priest right now, standing before God, interceding for you, representing you at this very moment. The hairs of his head were white like wool, like snow. That is eternal wisdom. He has always known the answer to every question you are carrying today. Before you even had the problem, he already had the answer. His eyes were like a flame of fire. He sees everything, every hidden thing, every secret, every struggle you have never told anyone about. Those eyes see your pain, and they also see your faith, even the small, quiet faith you think nobody notices. His voice was like the sound of rushing waters. Have you ever stood next to a massive waterfall where the sound is so powerful and all-consuming that you literally cannot hear anything else? That is the voice of Jesus. In a world full of noise, political noise, social media noise, 1,000 voices all demanding your attention, his voice is like rushing waters, and everything else goes quiet. And his face was like the sun, shining in full strength. You cannot look directly at it. This is not a figure you casually fit into the margins of your life when it is convenient. This is the Alpha and the Omega,
the ruler of the kings of the earth, the one who holds eternity in his hands. Verse 17. When John sees Jesus in this state, he falls at his feet as though dead. Think about who this is. The beloved disciple, the man who leaned on Jesus at the Last Supper. The man who had known Jesus personally for decades, and he falls face down in the dust, completely, totally overwhelmed, not because Jesus is threatening him, but because the full weight of eternal glory is simply too much for a human body to bear standing up. And then he laid his right hand on me, saying, "Fear not." The hand that holds 7 stars, the hand that spoke the universe into existence, that hand reaches down to where John is lying, completely undone in the dust, and touches him. And the first words out of the mouth of the Alpha and Omega are, "Fear not. Do not be afraid. I am here. I died and I am alive forevermore, and I hold the keys of death." That is the foundation of everything that follows in Revelation. No matter how dark the prophecies get in the chapters ahead, and they get very dark, this is the one holding the book. And he has already said to his people, "Do not be afraid." Now verse 19. Here it is. The thing I promised you at the start of this video. Most Bible teachers skip this verse completely. Most people who have read Revelation 10 times have never stopped to think about what this verse actually means, but this right here is the key that unlocks the entire book. Jesus gives John his assignment in 3 parts. Write the things you have seen, those that are, and those that are to take place after this. 3 categories: past, present, future. Most people treat Revelation as only a future prophecy book. They skip straight to chapter 4 and ignore everything before it. But Jesus specifically told John to write 3 things, not 1. The past vision, the present condition of the churches, and the future events. Which means Revelation was never meant to speak only to one generation. It speaks to every generation simultaneously, including yours, including right now today. Whatever you are carrying right now, whatever fear, whatever confusion, whatever question about the state of this world, this book is speaking directly to your present moment. That is why God attached a blessing to reading it, because it was designed for you personally in whatever season you find yourself when you open it. Let me bring everything together with 3 lessons from chapter 1 that I want you to carry with you today. Lesson 1. God shows up in dark places. John was on a prison island, stripped of everything, forgotten by the world. And that was exactly where heaven opened. Whatever your Patmos looks like right now, whatever season of loss or isolation or pain you are walking through, God has not forgotten you. He is not waiting for your circumstances to improve before he shows up. He showed up for John in the worst conditions imaginable, and he will show up for you. The island is not the obstacle. The island might actually be the setup. Lesson 2. Jesus is far greater than most of us have imagined. The Jesus of chapter 1 is not a figure you can be passive about. Eyes like fire, voice like rushing waters, face like the full brightness of the sun. Infinite, overwhelming, eternal power. And yet the very first thing he says to John, lying broken in the dust, is fear not. That combination of infinite power and infinite tenderness is the heartbeat of this entire book. When you truly grasp it, it reorients everything. Your problems do not disappear, but they look completely different when you see them through the lens of who is walking with you through them. Lesson 3. You are a lampstand. Verse 20. The 7 lampstands are the 7 churches. A lampstand exists for one purpose, to hold a light and push back the darkness. That is what you are. Not a spectator, not a consumer, a light bearer. In your family, your workplace, your neighborhood, people are stumbling in the dark all around you, and the light you carry, the light of this living, risen, all-powerful Jesus, can change someone's life forever. Do not hide it. Do not apologize for it. Let it shine. Now I need to tell you what is coming in the next video, because you cannot miss it. Chapter 2. Jesus personally writes a letter to the first of the 7 churches, and on the surface, this church looks incredible. Hard-working, doctrinally sound, persevering under intense pressure. Jesus basically gives them a glowing review. It sounds like he is about to hand them a gold star. But then verse 4, 4 words that change everything. 4 words describing something this church lost, something so important and so foundational, that Jesus says, without it, everything else you are doing counts for absolutely nothing. And I believe when you hear those 4 words, they are going to describe exactly where many of you are in your spiritual life right now. What are those 4 words? Come back for the next video. It is dropping very soon. Make sure you are subscribed and the notification bell is on because you do not want to miss that one. Before you go, one simple ask. Drop a comment right now and tell me what hit you hardest in chapter 1. The vision of Jesus, John on Patmos, the promise of blessing in verse 3. I read every single comment on this channel. And your comment does something practical. It tells YouTube that people are engaging with this content and that it deserves to be shown to more people who need it. If this video gave you something today, if it encouraged you or challenged you or taught you something new, please hit the like button. 1 click. That is all. But for a growing channel like this one, it makes an enormous difference. And share this with one person. Just one. Someone going through a hard season who needs to hear that God shows up in dark places. Someone who has always been curious about Revelation, but never knew where to start. You might not realize it, but the right video at the right moment can genuinely change someone's life. Be the person who sends it. I will see you in the next one. God bless you. And remember, whatever island you are on right now, God can show up there.